All right, hello, friends. How is everyone doing? Happy Thursday. All right, just getting everything ready to go here. All right, and yes, my iPad tells me I'm live. Yay, that's perfect. Sure, my mic is turned off, or my speaker. Excellent. Okay, well, we'll see who has time to join today. I have loads of new things to share with you all. There's lots of new product that's come into the store in the last week or so, couple of weeks. So we are going to take a close-up look at some of the new products in the store. And if we have time, I'll try to do a quick little demo of one of the dies we have in the store, but I'm not sure if we're going to have time. So we shall see. Is that bright enough for you guys? Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so we'll just give it a moment. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about Scrapaganza, our 2-day crop that is coming up in September. We're just over 80% sold out, so if you're thinking about coming and joining us for the crop, you've still got time to register, so we'd love to have you join us. Okay, and if you're just coming to shop, you can buy your shopping pass as well on the website too. That's available for you as well. So $5, we're going to have our always popular card kits will be back as well, and all sorts of things. And make sure you are, if you're coming to Scrapaganza, make sure you're part of the Calgary Scrapaganza Facebook group, because we'll be posting more info on classes and such as well. I know I myself am working on a card class as well, so just kind of hammering out the details on that. And yeah, and the other vendors will be hosting some classes as well, we hope. Okay, so I'm going to get started because I have a lot to get through. Okay, now I will let you know, I think pretty much all of this is in the store. There's a few things I forgot to double check before the live, but let's start with these little cuties, which I think would be super fun for Halloween if you're a cat lover. These are the Tim Holtz Thinlits. These are called Mischievous. Okay, so those are in the store. And then we've also got these fun stamps from All and Create. And we're going to have some of the team are going to be working on some samples with these. And so we've got, this guy's called, where is his name? The Rough Life. So that's cute. And he's even got a little kitty cat on there too. Okay, and then we've also got, this one is Wacky Woof Tails. Okay, so a nice little 4x6 set here of stamps. It'll be super fun to watercolor these. Okay, now we've also got the new Simple Stories Spooky Things line in the shop. So why don't I show you the paper first? So a really fun Halloween line. Simple Stories does Halloween really well. So we've got the 6x8 paper pad, and we've got the coordinating glossy enamel dots, the Spooky Things bits and pieces. Hello everyone who's just popped in. If I haven't said hello yet, welcome here. I'm going to be sharing some new things that are in the shop. We've also got the decorative brads. Page pieces. So these are fun. On the back of this, it gives you kind of a sample of how you can use these page pieces. So if you're doing a layout here with your cardstock, and then where you can place your ephemera die cuts. Okay. And then fun chipboard here. and the foam stickers, which are always fun. And this has got, how many stickers are in here? 47. So some great ones to use for titles or include in your journaling. Lots of embellishments. So that is the Simple Stories Spooky Things line. We've got a couple of lines of the 3/4 designs paper. This is the Dawn's Glow collection. There's a few other, I think there's one other, or maybe two other lines in there as well. But the team will be working on some samples with these. This has got a lot in here. It's got 10 12 by 12 double-sided papers, and then on the back of the covers, so this front cover and then this back cover is also, there's also a pattern printed, so you're essentially getting 2 extra sheets of paper. It's a very clever way to use the packaging, that's for sure. And then 2 A4 size die cut embellishment sheets, and it looks like, let's see, offcut strips with photo mats or elements or words. That must be these. So you can cut these up into strips or use them for photo mats. So that is 3/4 designs. And just kind of make sure you're following us on social media. We'll be posting samples with some of these products. And let me just grab my next pile. Like, I literally had so much stuff I couldn't fit it on my table. Okay. So here we've got some new Crafter's Companion in the shop. This is called Beach Retreat. So this is a stamp and die set. Okay, and then within that line as well, we've got this guiding light, it's called. It's a beautiful 3D embossing folder. So we'll see if we can get someone to whip up some samples with these. It's really, really beautiful, the detail on that. And then as well, we've got this folder called Coastlines. So that's a really fun folder. Look at all the texture on that. Really beautiful. Okay, and we've got some restocks in the shop. Some of the waffle flower paw print die is back in. We've got a few more back in. And we'll be updating the store as well, just with some of the quantities. I think there's a couple things that are still showing sold out, just because this is literally like just came in this past week. We've got the good old catalog. This is the catalog combo. So if you've got the, I don't know if you've seen the samples. So it's just these little bookshelves, and then with your, with the silhouette cats. I think there's a stamp as well. Jenny did some fantastic samples with that. So, that is kind of what coordinates with the cats from Waffle Flower. Okay, we've got the postage collage block stencil back in. Okay, and then we've got the postage collage A6 die. Okay, so A6 is essentially a square shape. So we've got that as well if you want to add that, if you happen to have that A2 size and want to add a square shape to your collection. We've got that in. This is not in the store yet, but it will be there soon. So this is the Sealed with Crafty Flair, the Sealed Sentiments combo. So it comes with the stamp and the coordinating die cuts. So you've got all sorts of fun little stamps here that will coordinate with your postage collage. And then I've got a little sample here for you. This is using the A2 postage collage, die set and stencil. And then this is actually the silhouette butterflies. So they've just been die cut out of black cardstock, and then just a little bit of Astro paste. So the Simon Hurley glitter paste just rubbed on the edges there. So super fun way to use that die set. So that is the Waffle Flower. Let me grab my next pile. And of course, we've got some wonderful Christmas in July items for you. July seems to be a really great time to release some Christmas products, and I think it's fantastic because it gives you time to get started on your cards. So we've got a bunch of stuff here from Crafter's Companion. First up is this Feline Festive stamp set. So super cute. the stamp and then the die, and I forgot to check what the price point is on this. Let's see if I can pull that up really quick, because I think it's pretty reasonable. I'm just gonna try to see if I can dig that up on here fast. I should have checked it earlier, but I totally forgot. Like I said, these literally, I picked up the box with all this new stuff in it. So, oh, $10.50. Oh, that's a great price for these little stamp sets. So we've got the feline festive, and then I know Carolyn loves sheep, so she might have to add this guy to her collection. So Feliz Navidad. Very cute. So happy Christmas to you in Feliz Navidad. So that's a fun stamp set, and it's it's a decent size, so they're not too tiny. And then if you are a dog lover, these would be super cute. So happy Woofmas. So we've got some singing pups here. Make super cute Christmas cards. Okay. Then also from Crafter's Companion, this is the 6x6 paper pad. It's Christmas by Candlelight. And we've also got the 12x12 paper pad as well in this. So just some beautiful images with candles and snowy type of patterns on there. Great for Christmas cards. Then we've got these 3 items that are retro Christmas collections from Crafter's Companion. So we've got kind of some retro type of fonts here in the Winter Blessings stamp set. Then we've got the Baubles 3D embossing folder, and we'll get some samples done up with these so you can see how that looks live and in person. And then we've got the Ho 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 3D embossing folder. So I don't know if you're like me or not. Hopefully, maybe you're not, but I am a sucker for Christmas. So there's some great Christmas products there. And this is a really beautiful embossing folder, and it's a larger 5.5 by 5.5. So this would, if you enjoy square cards, it would make a beautiful card front, and it would actually go work really well to fill up a A2 size card front as well. So that's a beautiful embossing folder. So by Candlelight, it's called, from Crafter's Companion. Next up, we've got some fabulous Spellbinders dies. And we'll start off with this one here, which is Polar Bear Pals by Simon Hurley. So that one's really cute. So there's 20 dies in this set. Okay, so you get all the pieces to cut up little knitted hats and sweaters and scarves. So that's very cute. Okay, then we've got the Snow Notes. So our little snowmen have joined together to sing some Christmas carols. And this one also comes with the sentiment as well, which is nice to have in there too. And we'll have a sample of these coming out as well for you guys so you can see them. Maybe one of us will be able to demo it. Then we've got this set, and this is a stamp and die cutting set. So I like how this comes together. So you're getting the dies to, build your 3 wise men, and then you're also getting the stamps to stamp out the sentiment. Okay, so that's just nice that they include it together. Makes it easy to add your sentiment to those. Then we've got the Gifting Bow. Okay, so this is 24 dies, and this is really pretty. So they've just repeatedly cut the bows and then created a nice little frame onto a card front. So really pretty. There's so much you could do with these, so many different configurations of those. So that's Gifting Bow. Okay, then they've also got a DIY 2026 calendar. So this has got all the dates here for you. And let's see, it's the numbers. This would be an interesting one. We might have to demo this to just show you how to put it all together. But they've got all the different configurations of your numbers for the months and then your months. And then you can press plate that onto your cardstock, and then you can just, if you use a larger piece of cardstock, then you can just add some die cuts maybe at the top to create a calendar. Might be a really nice gift for someone. Okay, and we've got the Twinkle Bright Tree. another really pretty press plate, and that comes with 2 different sentiments. So you're getting Twinkle Bright This Christmas and Sending Holiday Cheer, and that's kind of the back side of that. And then this is a registration plate. So these ones are fun because you can just use the little template to lay everything out so that you know exactly where you want to place your sentiment, or you can ink with some different colors as well. So that's that press plate. Now we've also got this Country Christmas banners and sentiments. And now this is a fun press plate and die set. But the fun part with these, let me just grab the other dies, because I think you'd really want to get these if you're looking at one of these die sets. So we've got the Christmas horse-drawn wagon. Super fun. And so this will fit, they're just telling us here, it's a 5x7 card. So this is nice. You can put this all together and fill a larger size card. There's all the pieces, and this is not bad. It doesn't have, it's got a few little pieces, but I think it would come together fairly quickly. But then you're going to want to use some of these sentiments from here, like Country Christmas Wishes. Okay, so this press plate and die set really coordinates really well with these. Annie Williams Christmas Horse-Drawn Wagon, and then we've also got the Country Christmas Barn. And that's going to be fun. We'll get someone working on some samples for these. They're going to be beautiful samples. Okay, then we've also got a Christmas rocking chair. So this has got some little pieces you might be able to coordinate with some other die sets, but when you look at the sentiments here, you've got like have a rocking Christmas. So you could actually rocking around the Christmas tree, if you kind of paired that with maybe a larger tree. You can use these sentiments there. So really kind of fun how they coordinated this die set to work with so many different dies. And then we've also got the Barn Star wreath. And this will create, you can create either layer the stars, or you can create a dimensional star. Okay, so that's what that looks like here. So probably add some scoring to there and make that a 3D star. So that is the Spellbinders and the Crafter's Companion. And we're doing great on time, guys. So I think we are totally going to have time to do a bit of a demo. So here is, this is from Hero Arts. And let me just find the first card here. So this one is called, this is the Big Mouth Nutcracker slider, and I'm going to do a little demo on how easy that guy goes together. So that is a die set. Spellbinders is releasing, this is the slider die, okay, and how this works with our Nutcracker, we slide his mouth open and there's our sentiment that's just tucked away in here. Okay, so Spellbinders is also going to be coming out with some other products that will coordinate with this. So I can imagine maybe something for Halloween in the future, maybe spring, like an Easter bunny. Who knows what will be coming down the pipe with that. But that's from Hero Arts. Okay, and so what we have in the store, it might not be loaded quite yet, but it will be there. Soon, is the Nutcracker bundle, and the bundle gets you the slider die set, and again I'll show you how that works, and then all the dies to put this guy together. Okay, now the sentiment is actually from the Hero Arts A Little Nuts stamp set, and this is the stamp set, and then that's the coordinating dies there. If you decide that, I don't think we have this in the shop, but we can order it in. So if it's something that you'd like to get your hands on, and that is where this card comes from. It's just a watercolored Nutcracker. You can just email Sandy, sandy@scrapshots.com, and just let her know that you're looking for A Little Nuts stamp and die set from Hero Arts, if you're thinking you'd like that. So it's got some fun sentiments on here. Let's have a crackin' Christmas. Hope your holiday is all it's cracked up to be. And then some little Christmas crackers, and you could kind of stamp these and make it look like some stars are coming out or the nuts. So very cute. So again, these are both from Hero Arts, but I want to show you just how easily this guy comes together. So I did die cut all the pieces yesterday. I just have one more piece to die cut today. I know it seems early to be thinking about Christmas cards, doesn't it? And let me just go back to my other tab here. But so the slider die itself is comprised of our main channel here. Okay, and that I've die cut from white cardstock, 2 pieces. And maybe what I'll do is just quickly add some glue. Glue those guys together. Just use my glue press here. So I really find I have to control myself when all these new Christmas products come out, because like I said, I'm kind of a sucker for Christmas. I'm just going to layer these 2 together. And I mean, there's stuff I bought last Christmas because I had to have it that I didn't use last year. If I'm being honest, there's probably things I've purchased 2 or 3 or 4 Christmases ago that still have yet to be used. So now I tell myself I have to really, 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 really love it if I'm going to purchase it, because it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'm just using this, my little track here is a guide to where I'm going to place this die. Okay, so this die is going to cut our opening on this front panel here. So I'm just going to line that up, kind of eyeball it, scooch it right to the edge there. And just add a little Craft Perfect die tape. I'm just going to step behind here to my die cut machine, which is behind me, and run this through. We're going to trim that little piece out. Okay. All right. And now we've got that piece trimmed out. Okay. So I pre-cut my little slider piece here, and this is the piece that will go, is going to slide up and down here. Let me just double check that I have this the right way. Yep. Our little piece that will slide up and down. Okay. So now what you want to do, and this comes together super, super quickly. We're going to add some glue to this piece here. And we're going to glue this right to our card, our A2 card base, just right to the front of the card base. Hello, Jenny. I know it's quiet. It's summer. It's the end of the month, and we have a beautiful day here in Calgary. Not sure where everyone is watching from, but yeah, we have a gorgeous day here today. So I'm sure many people are enjoying the outdoors. Okay. So I just want to make sure. So you want to make sure that your slider here is just going to slide up and down really nicely through here, which it does. Okay. So that's going to be where that slider piece goes. But before we glue any of that down, we're going to quickly add, kind of embellish our little panel here. Okay. So super, super simple. I'm just going to start at the top here and glue his hat. And hopefully I remember which way to put everything on here. Tried to remind myself of it yesterday, but sometimes I forget. Okay. So we'll put our hat up here. And then I've die cut all the pieces out of the Spellbinders Color Wheel cardstock, which, if you're using that cardstock, like if you're just going to use it for your Spellbinders dies and die cutting, it's going to last a long time, like, because you're only cutting little pieces, right? When you're cutting some of these guys. Okay. Just have to double check this. Yeah, okay. Okay. Then I'm going to glue his hair down. And this actually goes that way. So these would be fun cards too. You actually could mass produce these pretty easily. I do often, if I'm wanting to kind of make multiples with die cuts, I will try to run, like layer my cardstock. So for example, if I'm cutting the hair, I might kind of put 2 pieces on top of each other and then try to cut 2 at a time. I always try. If it doesn't cut all the way through, then that's fine, but then I'll do it 1 at a time. But I kind of like to give it a try first. That way, if it works, then it saves me some time. Okay. So I'm going to, decided I'd make his uniform kind of cream and navy. Okay. Oh, and I didn't have to put glue in this all the way in the middle, just on the edges. So I'm just going to wipe that off because I don't want to glue that front piece to anything. We just want to glue his arms down so it stays down. Okay. Okay, now we'll glue down his shoulders. And I think this slider die would be fun to play around with. Just even with, like without an image, but just to kind of, and by image I mean that we're not creating like this, we're making the face of a Nutcracker. But it would be kind of fun to play around with, you know, having your sentiment on the inside, but maybe kind of building this out to almost be like a little garden of flowers, and that kind of slides open to reveal your, where this is like your little flower box, and then you slide open to reveal your sentiment. Okay, so I'm just going to push this all the way up for now, just to have it at the top there, because that's kind of the top of his mouth, just to make sure when I lay this on here that it's where it's supposed to be. Okay, great. So you just want to make sure you're just putting the glue on the edges here, especially down here, because we don't want any glue to be touching our slider piece. Otherwise it's not going to slide. All right. We've got that there. And now let's do his face, and we'll do his teeth last. So we've got our eyebrows. There's 1, There's 2. This always kind of feels like a nice time to start working on Christmas cards, even just coming up with a design, just because you don't feel under pressure, right? Not like when, you know, beginning of November hits and you start to think, uh-oh, I have not started on those Christmas cards yet. Okay, so I'm just placing this here because I might have to just move that around a bit. I want to make sure I get his teeth, that I have enough room between the top teeth and where his mustache is going to be. Okay, so now the little teeth, there's actually the center, the teeth in the center are a little bit larger. So I'm just going to kind of place them here, give myself an idea of how far to space them apart. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to make sure I don't glue like one more tooth on the top and then I'm missing it for the bottom. Great. And then I'll just make sure, then I can just use, if I start with the top ones first, then I'll just use the top ones as a guide to line up the bottom teeth. Okay. All right. So I think what I'll do, I think I like that spacing. I might have to go just a little bit more to that edge. I'm just going to put this edge guide down first, and then I can line everything else up. So I think I die cut all these pieces yesterday, I don't know, in like 10 minutes. It didn't take very long. As you can see, like the teeth are all one die, so you're getting die cutting all 12 at the same time. Okay, then same thing, the eyebrows are all one die, the little embellishment pieces, I don't know what you call those for his uniform, are all one die. So it makes it very easy to die cut quickly. Okay. And I'm not going to make you watch me glue all the teeth on. You kind of get the idea. And then that would be the bottom row of teeth. Okay. And I'll show you how the slider is going to work. Okay. So, and again, this is our piece that slides, right? Okay, so in this die set, there is a die that's going to cut 6 of these triangles. So we are going to quickly glue these together. We're going to stack them on each other. And what that does is it creates a stopper when we're sliding the bottom of the mouth to reveal the sentiment. Okay. So we'll just stack those on and then I'll show you where we're going to glue this. Okay, and a couple more. All right. And the last layer. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this guy actually, what we're going to do is kind of slide this down here. And then what we would do is glue this right here on top of our slider base. Okay, then every time we slide this out, we'll always hit this stopper at the bottom. Okay. But before I do that, let's grab, actually we'll finish gluing these guys on. Okay. So what I would do before I would glue our little stopper on here, I would stamp the sentiment in here. Just so that I don't have to, I would put it in my MISTI because I don't trust myself to get it straight. So I don't want to have that bulk when I put it into my MISTI, okay? And then what would happen then after that, we would glue our beard, and this is what becomes our piece that slides up and down. Okay, so just to show you the sample, this is that's where our sentiment is, and then our beard opens up that little opening to reveal the sentiment. Okay, but let's get kind of his cheeks and mustache. There's his nose. We will pop his eyebrows on. Okay. Oh, and there is a ton of new 49 in market in the shop as well. So make sure you check that out. I'm sure Carla will be sharing some of that with you guys next week. I think it literally just came in, I think yesterday. And we've got the new 49 in market Vicky Booten Christmas line. That is all loaded in the store. So if you want to do some shopping, there is a ton, especially if you haven't been in there for a bit. There's a bunch of new stuff in there. If you're someone who ordered the Spellbinders Craft-O-Ween kit, that will be heading your way soon. If you're having it shipped to you. Okay, so there's his eyes. And the eyes, I actually die cut the pupils out of black glossy cardstock. So it just adds a little bit of a shine. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you'll get a bit of a sheen. Just for interest. Oh, that wasn't quite glued down yet, and then I kind of moved it and he was looking crazy. He had crazy eyeballs. All right. Anyone have any vacation plans still? Or you're yet to take your summer vacation? Okay. I like that. And then we shall place his... I'll maybe move his cheeks out a little bit, so I don't want them lined up directly with his eyeballs. Just to make it a little bit different. Okay. And then we've got the other cheek. Okay. We'll glue his mustache. All right. So let's add the trim. So the trim on the hat, and I've die cut this out of just some gold glitter cardstock in my stash. And then we'll do the braid on his shoulders. Okay. And on this side. And then we'll do the trim here on the bottom. Okay. So again, you can see just how quickly this comes together. All right. Because it's glitter cardstock, it just needs a little bit more time for that glue to adhere. Okay, and I'll add the second one, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do the sentiment. Okay. Okay, now if you're a really good stamper with a block, you can just use a acrylic block to stamp your sentiment. I don't trust myself to not mess it up. Okay, so the teeth I'm going to glue later, but I'm just going to show you the sentiment so that you can see, I can show you where the beard's going to go. I just don't want to make you guys watch me glue each single piece on. Okay, so I'm just going to move that little stacked stopper and just going to place this guy in here. I'm going to be careful not to knock those guys about. And grab the stamp set. So I think we'll do Let's Have a Crackin' Christmas. Okay, so I've got that open, and I can always slide this down a little bit more and have a little bit more of an opening there. Okay, perfect. Kind of try to center that within. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to grab my Altenew Obsidian pigment ink, just because we're going to get this in one go. Okay, so I'm just tapping that on there, flip it over, and I'm just going to give it a light press, kind of lift that up, and that looks great. Perfect. So I'm going to gently take that out, being mindful that this ink is, because it's pigment ink, it's going to be a little bit wet. Okay. So now we can glue down the stopper. So that's those stacked triangle pieces. Okay, and we just need to give that a moment to, maybe while we're giving that a moment to kind of dry, I will just work on these teeth. Just want to show you how it all comes together with our, once we add the beard, then we've got our little handle, I guess we could call it, to open and close the slider. Okay. I'm probably getting his teeth crooked. So I'm just going to, I'm putting a little bit of glue and I'm just laying that die cut down, but I'm not pressing down on it. Hello, Melanie. Just to give myself a little bit of time to kind of wiggle those teeth straight. There we go. Okay. So we've got the upper teeth done. All right. So I'm just moving these bottom ones because then what we're going to do, we'll just slide that right up there and then you can just line up your bottom teeth right underneath those top ones on that lower portion. I didn't make these, I think I might have gone a little crooked on some of these guys. Okay, so again, those middle teeth are just a little bit wider, so we're going to make sure they're the center teeth. Oh dear, I've got glue on my finger. I probably should be using my tweezers. There we go. Just scoochy that up. Maybe what I'll do is do this. I think this might be easier. Just a little dab of glue where those teeth are going to go. Then I can just place that with my tweezers. Oh, way easier. It does add character to them. Thanks, Melanie. All right. Okay, that's much easier than the way I was doing it before, and this guy's got to move over a little. Ah! There we go. And that one. And our last one. Okay. Just gonna slide these guys over a little. All right. Okay. So now we've got our bottom teeth on there, and then, oh, that's just got to dry a little. I'm just gonna slide that. At least our ink is dry. So the obsidian, the Altenew obsidian pigment ink dries pretty quick. Okay. So we can slide that right up. And so now we're just gonna add some glue right to our stopper. And then just place his beard on top. Okay, and there we go. That's gonna need just a minute to dry. But there is our big mouth slider. So we've got that version. I'm just going to be really gentle here because it won't be dry quite yet. There we go. So super, super fun die. I'm looking forward. This is from Hero Arts. And so we will have this bundle in the store, the Big Mouth slider bundle, I believe it's called, or will be called, something like that. Okay, so super duper fun. So yeah, if you're just joining, you might want to catch the replay. I went through a bunch of new products that are in the store now. And again, keep an eye on our social media. We'll be there'll be a lot of samples being posted soon, as the gang is going to be working on those. And yeah, so thank you for hanging out with me, guys. And yeah, thanks for catching this on the replay. If you're watching the replay, have a fantastic rest of July, I guess, since this is the last day in July. And Carla's going to be back next week in August. I can't believe it's August already. With some great stuff. And yeah, again, oh, look, I'm going to have to change. Oh, I didn't put enough glue on here. Okay, good. For a second, I thought he was going to be crazy-eyed. We'll fix that right now. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And yes, yeah, we are working away. You know what, Jenny? It does come together quite quickly, especially if you have it all die cut ahead of time. But this would be really nice to mass produce because there aren't a lot of finicky, teeny pieces. I guess the teeth are as finicky as it gets. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. Bye.